Hey Guitar Heroes, this is Mel from How to Play Guitars on S.com and Unleash Your Inner Guitar Hero, available right now on School, SKOOL.com. Today we're going to talk about the C major scale. It's fundamental to everything in terms of Western music. In order to really understand Western music in all of its simplicity and its complexity, you really need to have a solid ground of understanding about the C major scale. So I'm going to show it to you in a way that I don't usually see other people teaching it, that will literally unlock the possibilities for its application and for how you can use it in your everyday playing, both in chords, scales, you name it. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start on the B string. I'm assuming you know all the names of the strings. If you don't, I'm going to go through it real quick. E, A, D, G, B, and E. So on the B string, that's the second string from the floor, we're going to start first fret on that string. That's a C note. What we're going to do is we're going to go up a series of whole steps and half steps in order to build this C major scale. Now, from C to C sharp as a half step, from C to D as a whole step. We could also say from D to D flat, that's a half step. C sharp and D flat are called enharmonic equivalents. We'll get into that later, but I just want you to understand the difference between a half step and a whole step. Because what we're going to do is we're going to build the major scale starting on C with whole steps and half steps. So for example, I've got a C, and I'm going to go up a whole step to D, and then I'm going to go up a whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and a half step to C. So the C major scale is actually it's broken up into what's called tetrachords, two tetrachords. It's a whole step to half, whole to half. But wait a minute, it seems uneven, right? But it's not. Because what I've got on the left side of the equation is whole step to half. Then I have a whole step in the middle between the two. Then I have, on the right side, I have a whole step, and a half. So actually, if you cut it down the middle, right where the whole step is between, let's say between the F and the G, you're going to see that it's whole half on both sides. Those are called tetrachords. Okay? Those are Greek terms. A lot of the music theory that we use are based on Greek terms, historically. So anyway, all right, so we're going to start back on that C scale. We're going to do that again. We're going to go C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, G to A to B, B to C. This is also known as your do-re-mi scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. And as you can tell, there's lots of different ways to finger this. Certainly experiment with it. I wouldn't just do one finger on every single note, but at first, if that's what you can do, that's fine. I sometimes do that. What I want you to try to do is to think in terms of the 4-finger fret span position playing or box playing. So you get this, and then this, and then this. Okay? If that's tricky for you, don't stress about it. All right? So the most important thing is I really want you to get this. All right? So we've got, I'm going to go do this again. From C to D, this is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half. F to G is a whole. G to A is a whole. A to B is a whole. And B to C is a half. Okay? So there's lots of different ways to finger that. If I go down to the A string and I start on the 3rd fret of the A string, this is a C note as well. Because on the A string you have A, B, C. So if I do the same formula on this string, I'm going to have whole step from C to D, whole step from D to E, half step from E to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and a half step to C. So again, it's whole, half. Whole, half. Remember, it's two whole steps and a half, with a whole step in between, and then two whole steps and a half on the other side, on the right side. All right, and again, it still applies. The do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do still applies, just in a much lower octave. Okay, so we're going to start on the low C, and we're going to build notes. We're going to build chords off of these notes. So I've got C, and then the next note, I'm going to go to D. Normally, the next note in the scale is a D. But we're going to skip that note. We're going to go to an E. So now I've got C and E. This is referred to as a major third. I will do another tutorial later to just help you better understand the intervals, but for now I want to just focus mostly on the C major scale and what's happening here. So from C to E is what's referred to as a major third. Okay? All right. From D to F is a minor third. From E to G is a minor third. From F to A is a major third. From G to B is a major third. From A to C is a minor third. From B to D is a minor third. And from C to E is a major third. Okay? So that's where all of your major and minor chords are going to come from. Okay? As you start to develop your understanding of the scale, it'll make more and more sense as you go. So I have a major third from C to E, but from E to G, I have a minor third. So I know that's tricky, but basically it's like E to G is a minor third, okay? So E to G is a minor third. Different octave, essentially. So if I have C, E, G, that makes a C chord. Then I have D to F as a minor third. And then F to A is a major third. That's a D minor arpeggio, or a triad. E to G is a minor third. G to B is a major third. F to A is a major third. A to C is a minor third. G to B is a major third. B to D is a minor third. A to C is a minor third. C to E is a major third. So you can see this. Okay? And then B to D is a minor third, and D to F is also a minor third. That's one of the exceptions. It's a diminished triad. And then C to E is a major third, E to G is a minor third again. All right, now when we can complete these triads, we get the full chords that you play probably every day. For example, a C chord has the notes C, E, G, and then another C, and then an E. Okay? C, E, G, C, E. So those notes get doubled often within the chords that you're going to play on the guitar. All right? Now, this D minor fingering here is not super useful unless you're doing like sweep type arpeggios. But typically we do the D minor either here or here. All right, we're going to talk about that also in a later tutorial. Now, E minor, the E, again, we don't typically do it this way unless we do that type of arpeggio, the sweep arpeggio more or less. Okay, but we do play the E minor like here. There are a few that actually play the E minor here, and many people play it here. Okay, all right. The next one is the F. Now, some people play this as this. This is a C form, but usually people play it like this, or like this, or like this. Okay, and there's a few different versions of that F that are pretty popular. You can even do it like this, but I don't think a lot of people like that one. All right, we'll get into that later. Now we're sort of talking about the cage method a little bit. All right, the same thing with the G. Usually the G is here or here. Some people like it here. Very few people, honestly, but then also this one. Okay. A minor is here. Again, it makes for a great arpeggio like that, but however, we typically don't do it that way, or even like this. Okay, but typically we do it this way, or this way. Okay, some people even do it this way, or even here. Okay, and then the last one is the B diminished triad. Now, when we get into the sevenths, we'll do that at a later time. There's a difference between what's called a half minor Or, I'm sorry, a half diminished and a fully diminished. But for now, we're going to just talk about the diminished triad. So the diminished triad is literally just minor thirds stacked on top of each other. So that would be something like B, D, F, B, D, F, B, D, which that doesn't necessarily lend itself very easily